everybody, so today we're going to be talking about the cost of disposable diapers versus the cost of cloth diapers. If you are somebody who's ever been interested in cloth diapering, it's a question you've probably asked yourself, which one is cheaper? And so I figured, why don't I just go ahead and do a cost comparison of the two. Typically when you see the cost comparisons though, it's just cost of diapers to cost of diapers. It doesn't really take into account everything that's included with using disposable diapers and everything that's included with using cloth diapers. So I wanted to kind of get more of a holistic view of both. And my goal is to be as unbiased as I can possibly be. So I really want to be fair to both sides. I don't want to give any sort of benefit to one side or the other and skew the results. So there are, so let's just go ahead and get started. I'll go off with, there are a few assumptions that I'm making to do these calculations. So the first assumption is that your child is going to potty train about 2.5 years. Technically, based on the American Academy of Pediatrics, it's not until like 35 months for girls and 39 months for boys that about 40 to 60% of American children are potty trained. But for these calculations, we're just going to go with 2.5 years. And we are not including any sort of swim diapers on either disposable or the cloth side. We're also not including any sort of trainers, so pull-ups or cloth trainers. I'm not even going to cover that in this one. And it's assuming that for disposable diapers you use one type of diaper, like one brand of diaper, I guess, the whole time. And that for cloth diapers you use one type of diaper the entire time, and technically I guess the same brand the entire time. Although I know that's not the case, it's just easier to simplify for calculations because everyone's going to change to different things, right? So that's that. I'm also not doing any of these calculations with special coupon codes or like store promotions or like assuming that you would clip a coupon or anything. For the disposable diapers, I'm doing everything based on the Amazon Mom subscription, like the prime price, which is going to be cheaper than if you're buying it straight from the store, but I figured that often, like a lot of new moms are probably going to have a Prime subscription or Amazon Mom or something like that, which is the same thing, but regardless. I did not include the Prime cost into the disposable diapering section because I figure you're using that for other things too. So for the cloth diapers, I'll get to that in a minute, but we're primarily using Kelly's Closet. Okie dokie. So let's see. For disposable diapers, disclaimer, I primarily use cloth diapers, though not all the time. We do use disposable diapers when we go on vacation or if we're traveling. So I am not an expert in disposable diapers, which meant that I needed to go find somebody who was. So I went online to good old Google, and a common practice for moms who are using disposable diapers, who plan to use disposable diapers, is to stockpile diapers while they're waiting for their baby to arrive. And so there are tons of sites dedicated to telling you exactly what you need to get. I went off of moolahsavingmom.com. She seems to be a pretty bright lady, and she's gotten a whole list together. She does calculations based off of the age of the baby, how much the baby weighs, how many times a day you plan, like you would be typically changing a baby of that age, how many days that baby's probably going to be in that size based on the growth rate of children at that age, and then calculates how many diapers that's going to be. From there, she calculates how many boxes of diapers that you're going to need. So if you're a disposable diaper planning to use mom, highly recommend checking out that site. It was pretty enlightening, and I think she does a pretty good job. She even said that she's done this about 2 times, and she's recommended it to other people, and she's only been off by about 100 diapers, which I feel like is a pretty darn good estimate for such a long term. So I think she did it up to like 2.5 years though, so I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so she's got some pretty good calculations there. So let's see, so that's basically all of most of the assumptions. Oh, in trying not to be biased, I wanted to make sure that I was as equal to both sides as possible. So when I go over the accessories that you'll be using for disposables and the accessories for cloth diapers, you'll notice that for the disposables I have a diaper genie or something like that for something that you would need. For cloth, I also included a diaper genie-esque sort of like diaper pail thing so that I could keep them pretty equal across both. Of course, there are other options for both of those. If you're using disposables, you don't have to use a diaper pail. You can use a trash can. If you're using cloth diapers, you don't have to use a diaper pail. You can also use a special trash can that you only use for your cloth diapers, or a massive wet bag or something like that. So there are other options. I'm not saying this is the cheapest way to go on either side. It's like the disposable diapers are what like the brand I would use if I were doing disposable diapers, and the cloth diapers, when we go through all the different types, I'll do the calculations for the different types, but like we'll see when I get to all-in-one diapers, I'm not necessarily only listing the cheapest all-in-one diaper there. So I don't want you to think that I'm going for the cheapest of the cheapest of the cheap on both sides, because I'm not. I'm just going for pretty much the average on both. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start with disposable diapers. So based on her calculations, you would need, she's like, just get like a box of newborns to start off with, because you're not going to know exactly how big your baby is, and you're going to go through it pretty fast anyway. So 1 box of newborns. For size 1, I'll give you an example of her calculation. So she said for size 1, based on the weight of your baby, you're probably going to be in that size for about 4 months. Estimating that a month is about 30 days, 10 diaper changes a day is going to lead to about 1,200 disposable diapers. If you look on Amazon Mom and look at the size of the boxes, you're going to basically see that that's 6 boxes of diapers and leads you to $153.54. I'm not going to go through all of those calculations for all of these sizes because that will take forever. But I will tell you, for size 2, she said that size 2 and size 3 overlap by quite a bit, so she recommends, sticking to like, you only be in size 2 for a shorter period of time than you would be in a size 3. So for size 2, she only recommended about 2 boxes. For size 3, she recommended 7 boxes, because you'll be in that for about 6 months. For size 4, she estimated you'd be in it for also about 6 months, and that you'd need 8 boxes. And then size 5, you'd be in for about a year, and you would need 15 boxes. She did the calculations saying that once you get to size 2, so estimate that your baby is about 4 or 5 months old, you're going to be changing 6 times a day. I feel like at that age I was still changing more than 6 times a day. I feel like it was more like 7 or 8 times a day. But these are her calculations, so I'm going to go with it, and I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. And then she's got calculations at size 5, so size 3 and 4 are 6 times a day for changes, and size 5 is at 5 times a day. I'm still at 5 times a day, or 6 times a day probably for changing Des at least, and he is almost 2, so I'd say that I feel like it's a little low, but again, we'll go with it. So that brings you to the total number of diapers for 2.5 years as 5,736. And I know, by the way, I know some of you are going to say, well, my baby's 2 and not in size 5 diapers. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. The cost difference between size 4 and size 5 really wasn't. It's honestly like nothing, and there's not too many difference of the number of diapers that are in a box. So don't worry too much about that. The estimate's going to be pretty spot on. So 5,736 diapers is what you'll need. So let's see, the total diaper cost at 2.5 years is $1,296.96. But you're going to need wipes too. So she estimated that you would need 5 wipes per diaper change. I thought that was a little high, I could be wrong, but I went ahead and did 3 wipes per diaper change. Obviously some diaper changes you're going to need more, some you're going to need less, but. So I did it at 3, and let's see, so. Okay, so that's 17,208 wipes, which is about $386.50. That brings the total cost to do diapers and wipes up to 2.5 years to $1,683.46. If by chance your child took until 3 years of age to potty train, that's about $2,000 and $2,015. 2015. Let's see. So, you're also going to need some accessories with disposable diapering. Most first-time parents will register for a diaper genie, so I included that in the calculations. So a cost of a diaper genie on Amazon.com is $29.99. With diaper genies, you also need refills, and so I calculated each refill has 250 uses in it. So if you divide the number of diapers that you need by that, you'll end up getting $113.30 on refills. So total cost for disposable diapering for your first child, if they potty train at 2.5 years, is $1,826.75. If they potty train at 3 years, just for kicks, $2,178.77. For each additional child that you have, you're basically subtracting the cost of the diaper genie, since you already have that. You, in theory, don't need another one. But you still do need to buy diapers, wipes, and refills for the diaper genie. So for the second child, you'll spend $1,796.76 if they potty train at 2.5, and $2,148.78 if they potty train at 3. So, net disposable diapering is going to cost you about $1,800 for your first child. Alright, let's get started on the cloth ones.